for having me. Actually, I'm not the CMO of Deutsche Telekom. We are kind of sensitive in hierarchy in our company, so I'm just the CMO of T-Systems, so which is not a small country, it's a small village. Anyway, talk about AI today. I guess you had a few talks about that already, and I'm gonna have to be really fast because it's usually 45 minutes talk and I have to do it in 20. So that's why I'm gonna be fast. This is what we're gonna have, but I'll lead you through it. We begin with state of marketing, and of course the talk is called AI and the future of marketing, which is a mimicry, I have to admit, because I'm a marketing guy, so I have to talk about marketing, otherwise there's no credibility, you know that. But it's actually about AI and the future. So the future of marketing is just in parenthesis. So if marketers think, and if you ask them what are you doing in the future, then they give you tons of buzzwords. That's what we are really good at. And so if you look at this, it's a survey from last year, and the marketers were asked, what are you going to do next year? And I skipped slides about that. The thing is, you won't find the term artificial intelligence on that. Now, that's kind of funny, isn't it? Since blockchain and artificial intelligence are the megatrends, why do marketers don't talk about that? Well, while marketers think what may happen, other things happen. And if you look into the media, you can find everyday articles about artificial intelligence in some ways that are connected to our everyday life. Like here, for example, the big companies are working together to create AI, or there is this fascinating Professor Schmidt-Huber talking about robot factories in the asteroid belt where robots will manufacture itself and then venture off into the universe, because the small biosphere of Earth is quite enough for us Earthlings, but artificial intelligence and robots, of course, they need the resources of the whole universe, and there's much more outside. So this is why they venture there. So if you read all that stuff, then people always tend to be in kind of anxiety or fear that they get disrupted. And that's one of the most used terms also in our company. Don't be incremental, be disruptive. Now this is really hard for human beings actually to be disruptive, because we are linear beings, and if we talk about artificial intelligence and disruption, then just imagine one thing. Today we talk about self-driving cars, and of course you can tell the car, please take me home. And in case the navigation system has home associated with your home address, then it will take you there. But imagine the car would really know what it means to take somebody home. That's a different experience. I guess you know what I mean. So whatever the future will bring, there will be massive change coming up, and this one will really be relevant for every one of us. So if we talk about AI, this is also a short version, then we usually we get asked about what will happen in the future. It's the topic of the talk, the future of. And the interesting thing is, if you ask a person about the future, like let's say what will be in 10 years, then usually what we do is we look back what happened 10 years before, and then we try to make a projection from our experience of these 10 years into the future, and then we think, okay, the next 10 years will look more or less the same, or this will be something I have experienced. So if you just continue the line, then you have an idea what humans think the future will be like. The problem with technology is that, especially with microprocessor technology and nanotechnology and biotechnology and robotics and AI and all this weird stuff, the progress is exponential. So it's easy to see that this will happen, and we cannot foresee the future in that way, because we are not created that way. Our whole biological upbringing makes it more or less impossible for us to be really disruptive. So what usually happens is something like that. We look at artificial intelligence as it is today, and you can read tons of stuff about that, and we see, okay, these systems, they have some kind of intelligence, they mimic intelligent behavior of humans, but there's all kind of primitive stuff, look at that. But maybe soon it will be like this. And this will be then a massive change. Imagine an artificial intelligence which is way, way, way more intelligent than the most intelligent person in this room. Like between the dumb idiot and Einstein we are, and the artificial intelligence, the super intelligence will be way, way more intelligent. Like an IQ of 50,000, for example. So it's like you talk about a Shakespeare play to your dog. we don't know if this will happen, but as I said, I'm the marketing guy, so I talk a little bit of artificial intelligence in marketing as it is today. And today we have it in all kinds of forms. I guess you heard that already, how it works, so I won't go deeper into that, but the thing is basically we have an input layer like we have as humans, our eyes, our ears, so some stuff gets in, then there's a processing stuff going on in our heads and our brains, and then something comes out, like a bubble about AI in the future. The neural network is more or less the same, and these blue nodes, they are something which our brain is too, and we can have more layers of them. This can get really complex. We can have thousands of layers, and if we have quantum computers, we can have maybe millions and billions of layers. So these systems can be quite fast and quite intelligent, and if we put them on a certain problem, then they can most of the time easily solve this problem in a short amount of time. So if you look at it today, then we have artificial narrow intelligence, which is an AI which is really specialized on one thing, like winning against Google, against the Go champion, or winning against the poker champion, winning against the chess champion. Imagine any game and AI will beat it. Now we have a artificial narrow intelligence specialized on things like getting a car for us. So they just connect different informations, which is freely available on the web, and then it tells us your car will be there in a few minutes. Then we have it, of course, in Google. If you search, then you search via RankBrain, and this is an AI algorithm of Google, and of course, so you use it like 50 times a day, I suppose. Then you have it, of course, if you are an advertiser, like I am, then you use it in programmatic advertising. Algorithms tell the company where to put your ads, especially online, but it's also done in other media. And like here in this example, you can see how it works. If you read the site online, then of course the algorithm thinks, oh, you're a well-educated, more wealthy guy, I put you a Rolex ad. And if you read the Berliner Morgenpost, then maybe, oh, you're one of these poor Berlin guys like me, and then you get an ad from the Sparkasse Berlin. So maybe your retirement is saved. And if you look for mid-century furniture, as I did a few months ago, then you get all these ads about garden furniture. Why? Because the algorithm somehow knows that mid-century furniture is made out of teak wood, and so you get these ads from teak wood garden furniture. This is why we think, oh, look at this little monkey, artificial intelligence, it's so cute. Of course, these systems, they will get better in the future. What we know for a very, very long time, I think it's like almost 20 years old now, is this famous collaborative filtering algorithm by Amazon. People who bought this also bought that, so you probably will do that too. And what I really, really love is this clickbait headline algorithm stuff. If you read BuzzFeed or other portals, then you have these crazy headlines like, what kind of pizza are you? And of course you want to know what kind of pizza am I, or the different examples. If you want to have a fun evening, then you just enter to your search engine, you won't believe, and then just see what comes out. A lot of clickbait headlines, a lot of them done by AI. As a professional marketer, we use it also in our dashboards. We have tons of dashboards. We always want to know how stuff is performing, how our money is working in the market, what comes out of it. So if you use Google Analytics, if you use Oracle Marketing Cloud, Adobe, Sprinkler, Salesforce, you name it, it's always AI behind that. And now what's coming up next is that these systems, they enhance their intelligence in terms of getting to know what is in a picture, and then next thing, what is in a film, which is kind of hard because the picture at first is just a sum of pixels. It's just defined by some color codes, and there's no knowledge of cat. So the system has to learn what shape, what frames are putting a cat together, and then after a few million rounds, probably the system knows, okay, this shape is a cat, and if it gets more and more intelligence, then maybe it knows, okay, this seems to be a Siamese cat, this seems to be a young cat. Maybe the system is intelligent enough to see it's standing on something like a cupboard or anything, it's a bi-colored wall, or maybe it's a corner of a room. But all these concepts, like room, like cupboard, like cat, like Siamese, the system has to learn all that, and it has to learn it like we have to. We come onto this planet and we have no idea of anything. Because we have some ideas from the womb, but AI doesn't have it, so it's always trained by stuff we feed into it. So if we look at AI today, then the outcomes will always be something that is programmed initially by the questions that we gave the system to learn on. Film is much more complex because there you have lots of pictures and the thing has to be recognized, and then it has to be recognized what kind of movements are there and what is a movement anyway, and then the system sooner or later is able to also grasp film. So this is happening right now while we sit here and talk. Deep learning mechanisms are working on recognizing images and film, and they're getting better and better. What we have right now, and this seems to be the killer app for every marketer today, is a chatbot. I'm just in 2 chatbot projects, and there are maybe a few here. Who's working on the chatbot project? I knew Stefan would. Okay. You will, but if you won't, don't worry. But you will talk to these things. Let's take a short break and look at target groups, because if we create stuff like a chatbot, for example, then it is for somebody, or maybe something, because these things, they talk to each other, which is kind of funny because they develop their own languages. If we look at target groups, then we have an interesting thing. The interesting target groups are the young people, because they have the most of their life before them, and so most of their money before them to spend. This is why marketers look at young people. There are also a lot of wealthy old people in Germany, at least, so don't forget about them, but young people are much more interesting. These young people, they have these interest in important status symbols like notebooks and smartphones, and these things have become so important for them that they are almost indispensable elements of life. And to show you how indispensable they are, I got this great crushed glass, like most of you know, but I cannot give it away because I need it. And to give it away only for a day to change the glass would really amputate me from the rest of the world, which always happens if you take a smartphone away from a kid or an adult, a young adult. It's really horrible. Then we have this problem of real versus virtual. What is reality today? Because you can work in virtual worlds and you can spend your time and your money in virtual worlds. It works quite nicely. And so we really have to change our concepts here between what is real and what is not real. Because our virtual reality can be really real in terms of your bank account, for example. And then there's this thing which is also really problematic for humans, this overflow of information anytime, anywhere, and about anything. So another reason why we are just not capable of really being on the same level like an AI system in a certain task. It's just too much. We are not that fast. Now, if you look at these guys, who's under 30 here? Great. You are the old guys. I'm a dinosaur. You are the old guys. These are the young guys. That's Generation Z. Somebody under 20 here. Okay, so you guys are the chatbot target groups. We never know how they communicate. If you are a dinosaur like me, then you wonder, why is the girl on the left texting with the guy on the right instead of talking to him? This is just a normal trait. Natural enemy of this generation is waiting for something, because everything has to be there immediately. So speed, immediacy, and instantaneousness are the most common traits in this generation. Connectivity has to be everywhere. Typical mantra is everything has to be multi-channel, mobile, and of course you need your battery, and you need a Wi-Fi. Home as well, Wi-Fi, as you said. That's true from Australia to Berlin. No change about that. They are really interesting for marketers, so we look at them and they have some traits. Traits is how we identify them from other people, like from dinosaurs. As dinosaurs would pick up a phone and call each other, these guys would text each other. They don't use the telephone so much, and they don't write letters, and they don't write emails. They use instant messaging, and they are really informal. I like the example of my son who was applying for a summer job, and then he sent his application, really old school, and then he got no answer. And after like 6 or 8 hours, he texted them a WhatsApp and saying, hello. And it's an interesting way to talk to an employer, I would say. But obviously they do it. So much less informal, not respecting hierarchies, which is of course a problem in this world where borders are changing all the time between corporations and startups and stuff like that. They are really image orientated, and media has to be really fast, and it can be snacked and has to be moving images at best. But in the end, all these generation set persons are human beings, and so they want to be recognized as human beings, and they want to be talked to, and they want to be taken seriously, and they don't want to be marketing food. So don't sell me, please help me. Don't sell me something, help me, be there for me, be authentic. And this is one of the reasons why chatbots will be really, really good in the future, because they can cater perfectly to the needs of this upcoming generation, because as we all know, commerce is conversation. Whatever you buy is kind of a dialogue. Okay, what can you show me? This is interesting, do you have it in my size, this color. So everything is a dialogue in the end, so commerce really is conversation. This is why commercial chatbots are successful. And the thing, and this is one of my most important theses in this talk, is every interaction in the future will be via a virtual assistant. Maybe it's not true for today, but I think it will be in the near future. So whenever you talk to a company, you will talk to a virtual assistant. And the next thing will be that whenever a company talks to you, it will talk to a virtual assistant. And there will be one assistant, because each one in this room will have his own personal assistant. So today, we think about these platforms like, is it Alexa, do we talk to Siri, or will we have the new Samsung Bixby when it finally comes to Germany at some point? I think in the end, you will have your own virtual assistant, and it will be mobile, it will be on every device, it will live in the cloud, it will know everything that you needed to know, like all your personal data, your weight, your likes, your hobbies, what music you hear, where you travel. All these things are necessary so the agent can do stuff for you, like finding the route to tour, or finding the route to your hotel, your home, give you shopping information, find the cheapest and best holiday for you, find a partner for you on the internet, whatever. And of course AI in the future will do more. We will give it really serious tasks, like for example carriers from A to B, and also taking the risk of taking lives. Like for example, if there is a dilemma situation, an accident happens, then somebody probably will be injured or maybe dead. The system will decide who it will be, one way or the other. Maybe it's a random decision, but it is a decision in the end, and so these systems are really important. And of course what they will do is, because they sense all the time, in real time, they will configure the world around us. Like for example, if I take a flight somewhere, this morning I came from Cologne to Berlin, this breakfast flight where every one has these red eyes, I have to show my boarding pass and go through security. In the future, the system will know who I am and where I go, and probably will scan my telephone and email contacts of the last 6 months and know that I'm not an IS terrorist or stuff, anything like that. I was not in Hamburg last weekend, so they will probably just let me onto the plane and fly to Berlin. So everything can be really autonomous, and it will be kind of fun in the future, because we have cameras now everywhere, so everyone more or less could know who we are, but in the future they will know how we are. Am I in a good mood? Am I tired? Am I grumpy? And if we say something like on the phone, the same will happen. From the tone of our voice, these systems will know, are we lying? Are we in a bad mood or something like that? So everything will be really, really different from today. Like imagine you have an app and you talk to somebody for 2 minutes and the app tells you 80% probability that the person just lied to you. This will really change a lot in our communication behavior. Or in the supermarket, everything is sensing, so the product somehow knows that you're looking at it. So maybe the product gives you a wink, hey, come on, you bought me before, today 20% off. We don't know how it will work out in the end, nobody knows, but something like that will happen. And so it's going to be really exciting, and I'm talking to you about that because I think that we all have a kind of a responsibility to be active in shaping this future, and don't just let it happen to us. This is a real risk if we talk about these technologies. So is it the end of the world as we know it? Definitely yes, because a lot of jobs will vanish. Tons of jobs that we don't know the names of as of today will come up. like the truckers, for example, they were the first ones to vanish. This is the German truck, and the same truck from Mercedes is driving on the streets of Nevada already, on the Nevada highways. So we need new contracts because there will be no privacy anymore. How will we ensure freedom in a world where everyone knows everything about anybody? So this is a lot of stuff that we can think about in the future. So are we all going to die? Well, sooner or later maybe. We don't think that we can upload ourselves into the clouds. But I think in the end, don't fear it. Just go with the flow. Try to shape the situation. Try to be part of it. And then if you haven't grasped all that, it was just too much, just take these 2 takeaways. And if you want to stay in touch, you can do that via my mail or my blog, and I would be happy to hear from you. Thanks.
Time for one question.
Oh, really? Do we? I have lots of time. So.
Okay. We have some text boxes there. These amazing things. Does anyone have a burning question that they would love to ask? One there at the back, really quick, amazing.
The other side of marketing.
Right, we'll just wait for the microphone so we can hear you. Just put it up to your face.
One thing. The other side of marketing is actually propaganda. Won't it be a big temptation for state to use all these to build, the tyranny we never seen before, a techno tyranny?
Yeah, well, I guess the technological possibilities are all there, so we can just pray, and this is why I think it's important to care for it. We can just pray that we have the right system and regime in place. I don't want to see all these tools in the hands of Erdogan, for example. Imagine that there wouldn't have been a German reunification if these tools had been out there in 1985, for example. Just my thesis. Cool.
We only have time for one question, so I'm just going to end it there. Sorry. Yeah.